I am very much opposed to abortions personally, but I don't think it is the government's rule. Arlen Specter. Abortion is a question of choice. Robert Casey. No woman has an abortion for fun. Elizabeth Jones Smith. These are just a few quotes on a very controversial topic, abortions. I have been inspired by the recent political debates on abortions, and so today I will talk about the history and laws of abortion, why for many women it is the best option, and some medical procedures. I hope that by the end of this speech, everyone will consider the factors that go into having an abortion and that ultimately it should be the woman's choice. But that hasn't always been the case. The first prohibition on abortions happened in 1821 in Connecticut. By the end of the century, all 45 states had laws banning abortions. Receiving or providing an abortion was a common law crime in all states. By the time Roe v. Wade came about in the 70s, 30 states still had absolute bans on abortions. 16 states had partial bans, in which it was legal in cases of rape, incest, and the mother's health, and 4 states it was completely legal. Roe v. Wade was a landmark case in making abortions legal. It all started when Jane Roe was seeking an abortion, but was not given one. She took the issue to court and against Henry Wade and won. But appeals sent the case to the Supreme Court. And on January 22, 1973, a decision was made. It was 7-2 in favor of Roe, and having an abortion was now a fundamental right protected by the Constitution. But this hasn't stopped states from trying to ban abortions. They create laws that try to close down as many clinics as they can and make it so difficult for a woman that she will eventually give up on having one. These states that are actively trying to take away this right from women pose more complications and risk the woman's health. Millions of women, just like Roe, believe that the government and people should stay out of their bodily choices and their bodily rights. But as people, we feel a need to control what is around us, even if it is other people's lives. When the topic of abortion comes up, people think they know what is best, and that's not always true. Financially, it is a burden on a woman who is not prepared for a baby. It can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $37,000 to have an abortion. Additionally, according to Guttmacher Institute, abortions are increasingly common among low-income women. Because the government does not have funding spent going towards abortions, it is often less expensive to have an abortion than it is to have a child. In 2014, 49% of abortion patients were low-income families that were below the poverty line. That is an increase from 27% in 2000. Having a baby is very expensive, and it's not always the best option. Even if a woman could find the money to have a child, adoption doesn't always work. In 2015, there are 427,910 children in the foster care system. If every woman who had an abortion were to give their child up for adoption, the number would increase by about 600,000 children every year. The foster care system simply can't handle this, seeing as there were only 1/4 of those children were adopted. Additionally, these children can spend, on average, up to 3 years in the foster care system and have effects such as moving house to house, not having everything they need, and they would have a higher chance of having serious mental health issues. Abortion for many women is the best option, and it's also one of the safest options. Most women are looking to have an abortion in their first trimester or within the first 12 weeks. What they can do is they can have an FDA-approved medical protocol, which calls for 600 milligrams of mifeprozone, and then they would return 48 hours later to have 450 milligrams of mifeprozole. This would terminate the pregnancy, and it is one of the safest ways. There is also another way, which is surgery, which is mainly reserved for women over the 12-week gestation period. When these procedures are performed by trained medical professionals, they are one of the safest in the world. With a death rate of less than 0.01%, these women have a higher chance of dying from giving birth. But when these procedures aren't performed by skilled and trained people, an average of 47,000 women die every year from back alley abortions. These women seeking abortion should have the same medical help and care as someone who crashed their car from drunk driving and needs surgery. While both probably could have been prevented, they deserve help nonetheless. Regardless if you morally agree with them or not, we need to keep the abortion procedure safe. But one of the main reasons people want to make abortions illegal is to see a decline in them. But what they don't know is 51% of all pregnancies are unintended, most of that demographic being teenage girls, but the rates are going down. From 1991 to 2010, teenage girls' birth rates have dropped by half. This pattern can be seen in abortion rates too. They are dropping more. Unintended pregnancies are ending more in live birth than they are abortions. And it has also helped with the death rate of back alley abortions. There has been a dramatic decrease in this. Making abortions illegal has never been the answer, and it never will be. Abortion should be a matter of choice. They are a fundamental right, and for many women, it can be the best option and one of the safest too. We all have choices in this world. Choose to keep abortions legal and safe.